This is your space captain speaking. Just a reminder to pack some teeny tiny snacks and maybe a silly little hat. Cause we're about to take a trip to the tippy top tip where the wild seeds grow.
Today, we are sitting with someone very special. She's an explorer of the world, seeking to find what it really means to live so free and so truthfully. And you'll usually find her up in the soils of Northern California, tending to the earth and making sure she's cared for real nicely. And she's a crafter of music and rhythm and flow. And she embodies what it really means to tap into your own inner song. So let's welcome a sister to the show. Her name is Audrey. She sings to the open sky. She moves to the music as it takes her high. She flows to the rhythm of the earth below. We are grateful. We are grateful.
Hello, good morning, ladies.
Good afternoon.
It's been a minute since I've been up this early, and I forget how good it feels to be up before the day really gets up and running, you know?
I know, I bet that's why you prefer either early morning or late night.
Cheryl's like, "Do you want to dance tonight?" This is last night. I was like,
I've been missing some dusty, dirty dance floor throwdowns. It's been, yeah, kind of sad not having festivals and the gatherings this year, but also I feel like it's a potent time because I feel like we're just being forced to kind of tap into that for ourselves and just dance and reach those cathartic places for ourselves, with ourselves.
That's true. I mean, that's really what all these conscious gatherings and festivals are about, right? You know, we're given this amazing opportunity to be with community, and a community that fully supports you in creating and being seen and just authentically expressing yourself. And it would be so ideal to just live in that world forever. But I think the real beauty comes when you can actually make your life and your everyday into a festival.
I feel like it's, yeah, like you say, like I think the magic and beauty is in the integration and just making your everyday a festival and making every moment sacred, every meal, every just moment. It feels like, yeah, what's that quote?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the one by Emerson.
Yeah, he says life is a festival, but only to the wise.
I mean, really, it's up to us to make every moment a celebration, you know? We can, if we want to, consciously tap into every experience within the festival universe. That we are always learning new things and that we are always open to experiencing these instances of awe and wonder. And that community is always with us, you know, that whether physically or not physically together, we are always connected. But I get it though. There's really nothing like being in it, and I get why you miss it.
I
Yeah.
miss like rubbing up on people. I miss touch, I miss just like deep embraces,
Yeah.
really beautiful throwdowns on the dance floor. Like I feel so grateful to have had so many of those epic, like cathartic community throwdowns where you just feel like everyone's on the same page and same vibration. But also, I feel like, yeah, just it's been such a true test to sit in this space and to recognize like all of those moments that I've shared at festivals, traveling, all of those moments, they're still with me. If I really, really meditate and tune in, I can tap into that frequency. It's never left me. That's been a really empowering experience.
Yeah. And I feel like this space and time that we're in right now is giving us that very opportunity to be able to understand that all those experiences and all those teachings are always with us. And maybe in stillness, we can feel it even more potently, you know? Yeah, and for all those tuning in, I just wanted to throw the question out there to you. What has this collective stillness gifted you?
Yeah, you just had to make space for it. And I feel like 2020 has been that year for the whole world, just offering the medicine of stillness and silence and space, and to see all the beautiful things that can be birthed from what seems like the darkness, you know? It's sometimes I get so caught in this trip of like feeling so pessimistic about what's happening in the world and just seeing so much suffering and pain that's happening in the world. But then I come back and I'm like, okay, there is all of these grains of hope, and just like I have faith that like these moments, it's allowing humanity to reach a new place, to wake up from this slumber and to walk into the light.
Yeah, man, that cocoon, it's just you don't know what's gonna happen next, but you just trust, right? It's all about trust and all about like tuning into yourself because that's where all the power lies at the moment. Even if you want to like be able to tune into the world and finding your way to help out or make a difference, I feel like it has to all start with yourself. It has to all start with whatever capacity you currently have, and then find out how you can contribute from there.
I think that's the beautiful thing that you guys have done too, is just this ability to relinquish control and to just surrender. And I feel like we live in a society where like control is such a big aspect. Like we do all these things and we expect to come out the other side with a good paying job. If you do this, you go to school. Like there's all these aspects that we're trying to control, and now that's all just being blown out the window, and it's just this process and experience of just surrendering and just recognizing that we have no control. We do not. All we have control over is ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our spirits. So, how can we start there? When so many things feel out of control, how do we nurture the things within us that need to come through, like this podcast, all of these creative outlets that you guys have been harnessing? Like, it just wouldn't have happened without that surrender. So I honor you guys. I honor everyone who's taking this time to do something that feels like it's making a difference, or making some sort of ripple, no matter how small. Like even this conversation, who knows, could be a ripple somewhere. But just surrendering, trusting.
Ah,
Thank you, Audrey.
Hmm. That's our life's work. That is our dharma. That is what we're here to learn. How can we best serve the world with joy? What brings us joy ultimately will be something that is serving to the world. I don't know. That's a question I've been asking myself a lot lately.
but what do you feel in your personal experience and your capacity that you feel like you've done to get to that joy, to be able to contribute to that joy and tap into the collective?
I think first, to be able to tap into the light and to joy, is to first be able to really sit and dance and just be with your darkness. And I feel like that's the journey that I've been on. Just really meeting all the many different selves of me, learning how to love those different selves and understanding where it comes from, and really following that thread to figure out, why am I the way that I am? Why do I see the world the way that I see the world? What is mine, and what are things that I have taken on, or different programmings? And just being able to cleanse and sit with that, that is such a privilege to have all of this space to do that work, because my parents didn't get a chance to do that work because they were busy immigrating, surviving. And I feel like I have this opportunity to do that, and sometimes it feels super painful and really hard and really uncomfortable, and like I'm treading in the dirt and mud. But I know that this ultimately, it will ripple in some way someday. I feel like it'll come naturally, and I'll like be in this place where I can sit and share all the things that I've been able to pick up and learn from all of these different places that I've been able to travel, these communities that I've been able to live in, and just, yeah, finding a way to share that joy, because I feel like I can't hold that for myself. I want my family to experience true wellness and joy and just like contentment and peace. And then I want my wider community to feel that, and then the world. And yeah, I don't know what that looks like in this moment, but I just trust. I'm taking it step by step, starting with just myself, one breath at a time, one meditation, one super juicy flow sesh at a time.
Yes. It starts with the nucleus, and as much as we want to see like this greater ripple effect, and it's constantly happening in parallel with all these smaller ripples that are occurring, I think, at every moment in our lives. We're just constantly rippling. We're like a infinite wave pool.
Oof. And sometimes I forget that, you know? Sometimes I feel guilty and I feel shame and I feel like why do I have all of these privileges and like I feel like I'm not using them to the best of my abilities and just like letting the mind take me down some like really interesting alleyways in my mind, you know? But just to remember, just to come back, just to remember like all we can do is take it one step at a time, one moment at a time, and that starts here right now in the present moment.
And to be kind to ourselves, you know. Sometimes we expect ourselves to know everything or do certain things that maybe we're not really ready for, or we might feel like we're expected to be doing. But to be able to tune into yourself and really see within yourself what feels right and what you feel will bring you the most joy and excitement that you can share is just such a magical and beautiful thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's like being able to sing your own song and really figure out what it is that you want to sing because I feel like we all have different parts and different octaves and scales in this chorus that is humanity. And I feel like we each have our role in this revolution that's happening. And just to be able to utilize this time to really figure out what that is, to really cleanse and clear the vessel and just sit with all of it, all of the emotions that are like brewing up in the collective right now, being able to just sit with it and just like feel honor and reverence in just the whole process and understanding that we cannot have one thing without the other. We can't have joy without pain and suffering. We can't have the yin without the yang. We can't have masculine without the feminine, the sun and the moon, birth and death. It all is a part of it. So just honoring that and yeah, trusting.
I mean, polarities and extremes and differences are that's what makes the human experience, right? We wouldn't be human, we wouldn't be here on this earth without it, experiencing life as it is. And on that note, we have a little special wild seed performance gifted by our honored guest, Audrey, as her art decorates our space and her music decorates our time.
Om Namo Kali Kali Om Namo Om Namo Kali Kali Om Namo Om Namo Kali Kali Om Namo Om Namo Kali Kali Om Namo. Burn it all away, burn it all away. If it doesn't serve us, burn it all away. Burn it all away, burn it all away. If it doesn't serve us, burn it all away.
Kalima.
Kalima.
Thank you for that reminder, Audrey. It's just really such a potent time to channel the energies of Kali, the Hindu goddess of creation and destruction. And I think she symbolizes the true purpose of life and death and those cycles. And also that fire is such an important element in the whole cycle of life because it burns its flames to keep us alive. But it also provides us with that balance, with that necessity of having to burn what doesn't serve us anymore so we can clear the path and keep moving forward. It's just really been that time of like clearing the path and actually being in that process of clearing and not wanting to be in what comes after the clearing. I think is where the power really lies, to be in that fire, to be that fire.
Yeah, wow, it's definitely an element that I've been thinking about a lot lately and just around and present with a lot lately, especially with the fires just so close to home. Yeah, it seems so destructive and so scary and so painful sometimes, and it sucks to see people you love lose everything. And I feel like on a human scale, it's so hard to understand what she's doing, what divine process is happening in the universe and just in our lives, and just like being able to again like just surrender and trust that it's part of it. And sometimes we just gotta let it burn it all away for new life to be created, for things to disintegrate into ash back into the soil so that they can be regenerated again in the spring as they always do, and having that trust that spring will always come, and so will winter and all the other seasons in between.
Yeah, it's about respecting each element and to also be able to see yourself in it, I think is also where the power lies. You're able to control it in a way because you understand it and you are able to see that it is within you rather than outside of you.
Yeah, that's a powerful experience to be able to see your reflection in everything around you, your reflection in nature and Pachamama, and your reflection in everyone around you, even the people that trigger you and people that are very confronting to you. Those people are also in you, and even people like I don't know, like Trump, to look at someone like that and to recognize, like, wow, that is in me, but maybe it wasn't nurtured like it was for him. And how do I find compassion for it all, for everyone? So, how do we flip the switch and kind of step outside of those boxes and just see people for people and see all of the experiences that they've had that has led them up to this thing that they might have done? And how do we find a better, more restorative way of meeting each other and listening to each other instead of doing this right, wrong thing, good? I just don't think it's working anymore. And I feel like we're moving into this place where we're just learning to tap into the feminine more, to the divine feminine, and just come back to that space of compassion and surrender and listening and just understanding. And I hope that this time, this whole year, 2020, everything that's been going down, I feel like all of this like stuff needs to be purged and it needs to come up out and through. But I feel like I have hope that we can move into this space together, into this union of the masculine and the feminine.
I actually really love what you said, Audrey, about not having those boxes. You know, there's a Rumi quote. I think it goes beyond the realms of right and wrong. There's a field, and I'll meet you there. It really talks about like finding the truth, you know, beyond all these boxes, all these limitations that we are so used to seeing in the world, where actually all those things don't exist and all we look for is the truth and the light, and that's what will guide us.
Oh,
I love that so much.
I love that. I honestly like again just coming back to like meeting people who are different than you. I feel like there's so many teachings and lessons there, but one of them definitely is to remind you of how special it is when people really feel you and see you and understand you. And I just feel super grateful that we get to connect with each other even though we're on opposite sides of the world. We still here together. You are with me always. Yeah, I love you both. I'm so happy I got to see your face for a second, Cher.
Yeah, it was so nice, Audrey. Mikey sends me sometimes. She sent me a song that you and Vivian did, and I really loved it so much. Have you always played music and made music?
I played piano growing up, but I definitely been picking it up again recently. But other than that, like my brothers have always played instruments my whole life. Like I've always gotten the best hand-me-downs from my brother. Like got my first skateboard, my first surfboard, my first backpacking backpack, and also my first ukulele and guitar. Just old ones from my brothers.
Aww.
So yeah, I just grew up jamming, and I didn't start singing until really recently. Until I came to Humboldt, probably. First time 7 years ago was when I first started singing, but I just never sang. I just never allowed myself to sing because I thought I sounded a certain way or I didn't sound good enough. And I don't know, I feel like lately in my life, it just feels good to sing. It feels good vibrating through my belly in my body, and I sing because it feels good and not because it sounds a certain way. And there's a lot of freedom in that, you know?
Yeah, do it for you because you feel good. And when you feel good, you express that good feeling, and everyone who hears the beauty of your voice and the magic can feel that good feeling too. And then you inspire more good feelings and that joy. So
Oh,
thank
dude,
you for sharing your voice with us.
same. I
Really
feel the
great.
same. I feel literally the same with you.
Yeah.
Listening to your podcast, like it's been really, I have so much time actually to listen to so many podcasts while I work, so it's been such a treat every week to just be like, ooh, Wildseed's got a new episode. Vivi and I always listen to it together, and we love it. We love what you guys are doing. So creative. It just sounds fun.
Thank you, Audrey.
Uh, thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Mikey.
There. Wow. It's really been a journey, and I'm so grateful to have this platform to be able to do that, to be our authentic selves, and to be able to express, just like you do, Audrey, with music. I think that's one big thing that's inspired me personally, also. I never sang or picked up an instrument before I met you, and that just like led me into this whole musical journey. And I mean, now I'm like making my own songs, and
I forget sometimes, and I love the way that that works. I feel like sometimes I'll be in this like creative slump and not making any music, and then you're sending me songs that you've made, that you birthed from the womb of wherever songs come from, and then it comes back to inspire me. So it's just this continuous ebb and flow chain DNA weaving thing that is symbiotic. So I love you and same.
Yeah, really. I mean, we're all just constantly inspiring each other, and I feel like that has really helped me to understand that it's so important to keep expressing yourself, not think about how you will be received. Because I don't know, in one way or the other, the way you express yourself in a song or in a podcast or whatever, someone somewhere, some way, somehow will be inspired, and that'll definitely come back to you. And it's just this continuous, infinite cycle of nourishing each other.
It's honestly liberation. That is pure, that is the path to freedom. And I really feel like as just humans in this society, we've really been raised to seek that sort of validation from other people and to like be kind of self-conscious and insecure about the ways that you sound, or if you sound dumb, or if you sound whatever, bad or anything. And it just feels so fucking liberating to just step outside of that and just be like, you know what? If I think about it, if I think about Martin Luther King or I think about Rosa Parks, like I'm sure they spoke some things and people hated on them. But they were fucking change makers, and that's where we gotta be. Do your thing. You girls are fucking doing the thing. I'm so inspired.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's what it is, though. It's the liberation that's inspiring. When you see someone being their true selves, expressing their truth, being free, that's what's so inspiring. And that's what makes you believe also in your power and your own freedom.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Oh man,
Yeah.
Audrey, always thank you for being in this world and for existing and for sharing all your nuggets of wisdom that I receive all the time. And
Same,
I'm just super, super
same,
grateful.
same.
Thank you, Audrey, for sharing your voice and your magic, your beauty. Thank you so much for your time this morning. It's so nice. I'm sending you so much love.
Same, sisters. I love you guys.
Mahal
Nothing.
kita!
Mahal kita.
Ah, Wildseed.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, it feels like one big fat hug from all of you whenever you do. Remember, we have fresh new episodes coming out the oven every Tuesday on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Overcast, Apple, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts.
Thank you so much. We're really so happy to be on this wild seed ride with all of you. Pass on the love to the other wild seeds in your life. You can find us on Instagram at We Are Wild Seed. We're also on Facebook. You can also drop us an email. We super love receiving letters. Our email address is wildseedpod@gmail.com. Can't wait to see you guys again soon. Wild Seed!
Wildseed!